This here is an old double-barreled shotgun. This one's, the only writing on this one says the Berkshire. This was a hardware store shotgun, which pretty much means it wasn't made by a name brand. It was just a cheap shotgun that most hardware stores always had some sort of cheap gun for sale. We're going to take it apart. First thing we're going to do is remove this screw, take the foregrip and the barrels off, and make it a little bit easier to handle. Now the next piece that comes out is this piece, which is actually cocks the hammers back, which it should. There it goes. Pops out. Take the barrels off. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take off the two lock plates, which is this piece here and this piece. There's 3 screws that hold it together. This screw, which holds the 2 plates together, and then this screw and this screw, which hold it to the action there, or the block receiver, I guess. Take that screw out. Take out this screw. And take out this screw. And then kind of got to wiggle it. I have to use a screwdriver. Pop it out and slide it back. There's a little tab right here on the end that slides into a slot right up in there. Take that side out, and we'll take this side out. Same thing, pop it up, pull it back. Now you've got both sides, these little pieces here, which come out here that cock the hammers back. Here's the lock. This is the hammer part right here. The trigger presses up on this, and that's the leaf spring that actuates it. Most of the newer guns are going to have a coil spring, because these sometimes break, they wear out, they stress fracture, and they pretty much stop using them. But the trigger presses up on this, and that's all the hammer is. That piece jumping up. Then it stripes the firing pin, which would be here. This was still on the gun. Okay, the next part we're going to take off is this trigger guard right here. There's 2 screws to it. First one is this back screw. It goes into the wood, the grip. This one is a metal screw, which goes into the trigger grouping. Then we take it, and it's going to twist one way or the other, and then come out. It's got a little half shape, half circle, and it's got a little cutout that actually holds it in. Now the next piece we're going to take off. We're going to loosen the whole grip right here. There's 1 screw here. And that screw goes all the way through to this piece down here. And the next screw is hidden underneath the lever. We're going to take that screw out. Turn it back over, and we're going to take this screw out. piece should lift out. There's your trigger group. This piece comes out. The rest of your stock, and you got your trigger, your stock, and then you got your trigger, the rest of the action. Alright, this is the trigger group. This is the safety mechanism. When you pull it back, the safety is on, and it drops the triggers down. Has a little bar that keeps them from being pressed up. This part, you have the firing pins, which this side looks original. You can tell when I press it, it pops back out since it's spring loaded. This other side, I believe, has been replaced. It's sort of mushroomed, which means the steel's not hardened like it should be, and there's no spring on it. Now, just to put it back together. Now, the tricky part is to get the safety mechanism back together here, which you got to get it inside that slot. Otherwise, you run the risk of it being stuck outside and not functioning, or when you press it and screw it back together, it puts tension on it the wrong place and breaks something. Remember, if you force it, you're doing something wrong. Now the next fun part is figuring out which screw goes where. This screw goes here. That was a long screw, and it'll screw into that part that holds the actual action together. Put it in first. The next screw we put back in is this one, and it looks like these other screws, but it's slightly bigger. The way they did these guns is they put the screws in and then they polished it. So if I back this out, I'll see if you can see it. It looks sort of like the screw is bent, but it's actually not. It's just the way it's set up. You got to screw it until it becomes smooth. It's just the way they made the guns back there. It was like a time-saving option. Now this screw is going to be one of the longer screws, or the middle length screw. And this one, it's very important. Make sure you get it in there correctly, because if you don't, it may catch on the top of the lever or the bottom of the lever. Now the next piece is going to be the trigger guard. Goes in like that. This one had two screws. It had a wood screw and a machine screw. You want to put the wood screw in second, because it's more likely to strip out since there is a little bit of tension on it. Like I said, you want to line it up so it's smooth. The wood screw goes in. Now we're going to put the side plates back on, or sometimes called the lock plates. You need to make sure the hammers are cocked when you do put them in. long screw in first. Put the two smaller screws back in. But this piece here actuates the ejectors, which is this piece here, which lifts the spent shells or unspent shells back out where you can grab them. But it goes back into this slot here. You want to lock the shotgun like it's going to shoot. Make sure everything lines up. That piece slips into there. This piece goes back in. Finally, you put that screw back in. Make sure it opens and everything works on it. And that's old double-barreled shotgun for you.